One sunny morning, as Pomato and her friend Apphie were playing in the schoolyard, Pomato noticed something peculiar. With wide eyes, Pomato watched as Peavy approached them, holding a shiny pea pod in his hand. "Hey guys, look what my aunt gave me!" exclaimed Peavy, his voice filled with excitement. Pomato and Apphie gathered around Peavy, their curiosity piqued. "What is it, Peavy?" asked Apphie, her eyes sparkling with interest. Peavy grinned mischievously. "It's a magical pea pod. My aunt said it has all sorts of amazing powers," he replied, his voice tinged with excitement. Eyes widening with curiosity, they leaned in closer, eager to witness the magic firsthand. Peavy, with a mischievous grin, tapped the pea pod and wished for chocolate. In an instant, a chocolate house materialized before them, its walls adorned with colorful chocolate, and the air was filled with the sweet aroma of cocoa. Without hesitation, they stepped inside, discovering a wonderland of chocolate delight. Bars, truffles, and fountains overflowing with molten chocolate. Giggling with excitement, they indulged in the decadent treats, their laughter echoing off the chocolate-coated walls. But Peavy's adventurous spirit was far from satisfied. With another tap of the magical pea pod, he wished for balls to play with. Suddenly, the air was filled with the sound of bouncing. In a whirl of color and motion, the schoolyard transformed into a playground of bouncing balls, some small, some large, some round, and some oddly shaped. Pomato, Peavy, and Apphie wasted no time, diving into the fun, playing football amidst the chaos of bouncing orbs. To their surprise, some of the balls began to transform, taking on a life of their own. They danced and twirled in the air, adding an extra layer of magic to the already enchanting scene. But the fun didn't stop there. Peavy decided to test the limits of his magical pea pod. With a mischievous gleam in his eye, Peavy tapped the shiny pea pod, and suddenly, a whirlwind of magic enveloped Pomato and Apphie. In the blink of an eye, they transformed into tiny peas, giggling with excitement. Peavy chuckled with delight as Pomato and Apphie stepped inside the pea pod. With a flick of his wrist, the pod began to rise into the air, carrying the giggling peas high above the schoolyard. As they soared through the sky, they marveled at the breathtaking view below. They zipped and zoomed through fluffy clouds, their laughter echoing through the air as they performed loop-de-loops and somersaults in the pod. But the fun didn't stop there. Peavy guided the pod through a series of hilarious maneuvers, zigzagging through the air and narrowly avoiding tree branches and bird nests. Pomato and Apphie squealed with delight as they held the sides of the pod, their tiny pea bodies bouncing with each twist and turn. As they flew, Peavy decided to add a touch of magic to their adventure. With a wave of his hand, he summoned a flock of colorful butterflies to flutter around them, their delicate wings shimmering in the sunlight. After hours of fun, Peavy gently lowered the pea pod back down to the schoolyard, where they transformed back into their usual selves with a burst of glittering magic. Pomato and Apphie gathered around Peavy, their faces flushed with excitement and joy. "Peavy, this has been the most hilarious day ever!" exclaimed Apphie, her voice filled with gratitude. Peavy smiled, his heart warmed by the laughter and friendship of his companions. "I'm glad you guys had fun." But just as they were about to embark on another thrilling adventure, Peavy suddenly felt a strange sensation wash over him. With a start, he realized that he was no longer in the schoolyard with his friends. Instead, he found himself lying in his bed, the morning sun streaming through the window. The magical powers he thought he possessed were simply his imagination, influenced by the extraordinary abilities of his friend Carrie the Carrot. The memory of Carrie transforming into the letters of the alphabet flooded back to Peavy's mind. He remembered how Carrie had delighted them all with his incredible feat, leaving them in awe and wonder. With a smile spreading across his face, Peavy chuckled at the thought of his silly misunderstanding. He knew that while he may not have real superpowers like Carrie, he had something even more precious: the magic of friendship and the joy of shared imagination.